Okay, hello everybody. Hello everybody. This is Lana Reid, and I am so thankful. I am so blessed to be having this opportunity to sit down and talk to my dad for many reasons. My dad doesn't do social media, first of all, so I just appreciate the fact that he's even here doing this for me. And there's a lot of us out here who don't have the pleasure of having their parents around. And I'm just so thankful and so appreciative that I do have my parents to be able to have a conversation with. So, Dad, thank you. Thank you very much for hanging out with me today. And we're just going to have a little chat and have some fun. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You know this is not my comfort zone, right?
Yes, I know this is not your comfort zone. So that's why I'm saying thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. I love you so much. Okay. So we're gonna start at the beginning here. It's gonna be painless, I promise you. Okay. Just you and your kid talking, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
With a million other people listening in.
Oh no, not a million. Maybe like 1,000 or something like that. Not that many, I promise you. I promise
Okay.
you. I ain't that big. I ain't that big yet, Dad. I ain't that big.
Well, pumpkin, you done blew up, so okay.
So, Dad, let's talk about you for a minute. You were born in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, November 29th, 1950, correct?
Correct.
Were you a morning baby, night baby? Do you know?
I have no clue.
You have no clue. You just know you came around. You were here.
Yeah. Yes. I have no clue.
Now, I just recall stories on growing up, hearing the same message about little Stevan growing up all the time, that you were a mischievous little kid, bad little boy. I think, as a matter of fact, your nephew even inherited that. And they always said, he just like little Stevan, just like little Stevan. What types of things did you do that would make them say these things about you?
Well, I wasn't the best person in church. When we went to church, the kids sit up in the balcony, and me and my friends would always create trouble where the pastor couldn't give his sermon. Back when I was growing up, it was the beginning of what they call natural gas. So me and my friends would go around and throw matches in the hose to start fires. My neighbor had raised chickens, and I would take my BB gun and go shoot a chicken. Stuff like that, just childhood stuff.
Why, Dad? Why?
I grew up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
What? I mean, there's nothing else.
It wasn't a lot for a kid to do for fun,
Okay, so and I did say in the beginning you were born in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, but I know that's not where your parents came from, originated from. So where grandma and granddad, where'd they come from, or where their people from?
From South Carolina.
South Carolina. You know what part?
Spartanburg, South
Carolina. Do you happen to know what brought them to Winston-Salem from Spartanburg?
The tobacco factory.
Okay. Now, and that brings to point R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Factory, like you mentioned. And I remember Granddaddy, he worked there till retirement. So what kind of job did he have at R.J. Reynolds, Granddaddy?
He ran what they call a packing machine, where you take the loose cigarettes, and he ran a machine that put them into cigarette packs.
Okay, so I'm not a cigarette smoker, but so he put them into the pack. That's why I see all you smokers doing that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And he did that for most of his career there?
Well, initially, he started out what they call feeding the packers. He would take the large trays of cigarettes, and put them into the machine that fed into the packing machine.
Okay. And was that considered for Black people in Winston-Salem working at R.J. Reynolds? Was that considered to be a good job?
Well, you only had two industries in Winston-Salem, and unfortunately, I worked for both of them.
He said, unfortunately.
Well, you had the textile industry, and that was what your mother's family was into, Haynes Hosiery. Then my family was in the tobacco industry, so my family worked for R.J. Reynolds.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when I say unfortunately, I worked for both of them. When I first married your mom, I was going to high school, and I worked in Haynes Hosiery
Okay.
in the textile factory.
In high school. Okay. And Grandma Stewart, I remember the only job I recall her working is the North Carolina School of Arts. What did she do there? And was that her only job that you recall her having?
No, she was a nurse at one time. Well, she was in the medical profession at one time. Then she went to the North Carolina School of the Arts in the food industry. There again, got me a job working there too. You know?
So you just went wherever grandma and granddaddy told you, look, you got to find you a job. You want to work right here. That's what you did.
Well, there's two kinds of people. There's the artistic people and there's the 8 to 5 people. My family was the 8 to 5 people. You're going to work. Mm-hmm. So I've been working ever since I was probably 12 years old.
Okay.
I worked on a milk truck initially, had a paper route. Then I went to Haynes Hosiery. Then I went to R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company.
Okay. Now, I want to get back to the R.J. Reynolds factory, but before I go that direction, let me start. Lil Stevan, you're sort of the middle child. You're kind of right there in the middle. How many brothers and sisters were there total?
I have 2 older brothers. Then there was me. Then there was a younger sister, younger brother, and then the baby, Sherelle.
Okay.
So there were 6 of us all together.
6 of us. And today in 2016, how many are left?
There's only 3 of us left now.
Okay. All righty. So at a young age, I remember stories of you staying with your grandmother for a little bit. How did that whole situation transpire, and what led you to staying with your grandmother? And which side grandmother was it?
I stayed with my father's mother. When I was born, my dad was going into the army.
Okay.
So I went to stay with my dad's mom.
Okay.
I stayed with her until I was in the 10th grade.
Okay. And there's all these, and I remember your younger brother, one of my favorite uncles, Uncle Whammy, he always talks about the residual effects of you staying with that grandmother, that you ended up being a little spoiled. And there's stories of, I think she got you a car, right? I remember this story of a car. You don't want to talk about the car, Dad?
Okay. Your uncle, the stories that circulated, they stayed with my mother's mother. Mm-hmm. And they may have been 5 or 6 kids over there.
Okay.
I stayed with my dad's mom. I was the only kid. My dad's mom only had 1 kid, which was really unique for those times.
Yes.
So she had a boy child, and she spoiled him.
Mm-hmm.
So when he went away to the army and I replaced him, yeah, maybe she did spoil me.
Just maybe.
Maybe I got a car at 16. Maybe I had a charge card when I was in the 8th grade, but
maybe, no, I wasn't spoiled, but just maybe.
No, just maybe. So there may have been some resentment that I was treated as an only child.
Okay. Because I recall with this car, there's a story that Uncle Whammy used to tell. You were having some mechanical problems with it at one point in time, and it needed to be pushed to get going on its way. And you would ask your little brother to help you push the car. Is that how the story goes?
Yes.
But he couldn't get a ride in the car?
No, I would go and pick up your mom.
Oh, but you would ask your younger brother to help you push the car, but then he couldn't get a ride?
No,
just okay. Just plain and simple. No. I got things to do.
I had to go pick up your mom.
Okay.
And take her 2 blocks to school.
Okay. And that's funny. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, but then I'm gonna come back. You also tell the story about me, your daughter, your only child, when we were stationed in Okinawa. School for me was at best a 3-minute walk, and you would be late for work just to drop me off at school.
Yes, yes.
Yes, matter of fact, yes. If that's what the baby girl wanted, then yes, she got a ride to work.
Yes, yes.
Love your voice.
You have to keep your priorities in order.
Okay. So let's go back, Dad. High school. Let's go back. High school. Were you considered the cool dude, the geek, the jock? What were you considered?
I was the popular, cool, handsome, athletic dude in high school.
And they're saying that, not you, right?
That's what everybody else was saying.
Okay. And I recall the cool dude. You used to tell me these stories about you and your friends. Y'all had these like Letterman sweaters, and y'all would hang out on the block and do wop or something like that.
No, it was what sororities are in, what fraternities are in college. We had social clubs in high school.
Okay.
Speaking of that, when I was in the 10th grade, I joined a social club called the Diplomats.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Okay.
And it was only supposed to be for kids in the 11th and 12th grade. Going back to your first question, because I was cool, popular, and athletic, I was offered to join it in the 10th grade.
Okay. Okay. So you were athletic. What'd you play? Football, basketball?
I was swimming, baseball, and basketball.
Okay. And if I recall, there was some story of right out of high school, you were supposed to play some college basketball or something like that?
Yes, I was supposed to go to this college called East Carolina on a scholarship.
Awesome. East Carolina. Okay. Okay. Now, you met Mom in the 7th grade.
Correct.
And
Correct.
There's a key player in this story, Charles Polk.
No, he was my best friend in high school.
Oh.
The guy that hooked me and your mom up was called Jody Foster.
Jody Foster. Okay. Now, 7th grade, you were, me being a parent now, you would hope that your son wasn't looking at girls in the 7th grade. But what was it about Mom that you said, hey, I kind of like that girl over there?
Okay, let's be realistic. I had no substance. So the only thing that would attract me to a girl in the 7th grade was she was pretty, okay?
Okay. So Jody Foster, how does he come into play?
Oh, we all lived in, he was my next door neighbor.
Okay. Okay.
We grew up, there were only, I'm trying to think back now. There was only Carver, Paisley, East Winston. There was only 3 schools that black kids could go to.
Okay.
So Carver was in the country, and there was, at the time they called it Kennedy Junior Senior High. And that was the school we all went to, your mom, me, and Jody, and he was my next door neighbor.
Okay. So how did he have something to do with connecting you guys or something? Or you just...
He was just the go-between.
Okay.
He knew that your mom was looking at me, and he knew I was looking at your mom. I was in the 7th grade. I didn't know how to talk to girls, so.
Oh, and Mom was looking at you just because you were cool, athletic, and handsome, and you were just the guy.
Yeah. There's no substance involved. It goes back to that cliche. I was the high school quarterback and she was the high school cheerleader.
Okay.
So why shouldn't we hook up?
Okay.
And
you did, and 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, and I'm pretty sure there was some off and on there, but all the way up into the 12th grade. And there's a story that's always been told throughout my lifetime over and over again, is that the two of you guys wanted to get married, but it being the South and old-fashioned and traditional, the only way parents were going to let you guys get married if there was a baby to come and play. So you and Mom made that happen, and it was your time to tell your parents that you were to be a father, and you got cold feet. So I'm wondering, how is it that your parents, my grandparents, kind of found out that you had a baby on the way?
Well, it was a family tradition. Since there were so many kids, the requirement was we always had Sunday breakfast together.
Mhm.
So apparently, the mom on Saturday night called my dad and told him what was going on.
Uh-huh.
So that Sunday at breakfast, my dad announced it to the family that, congratulate your brother, he's now a prospective father.
Is there some reason you didn't say anything beforehand?
It was a matter of timing.
Oh, okay. You were just not moving fast enough for her. Is that what it was?
No, I was not moving fast enough for her. To me, it was just a matter of timing. It was something that I had to say, but
You were probably going to wait till I was about 2 and say, oh, by the way, I got a kid.
No.
Okay. So after I come along, you start following in your dad's footsteps, and you got a job at RJ Reynolds, from what I'm understanding. How long did you stay there?
2 paychecks.
You didn't like it, Dad?
No.
What did you do while you were there? First of all, let me ask you.
I fed the Packers. What my dad originally started doing, that's what I went in the factory to do. Okay. I'm a very small man. Mm-hmm. And you had like 6 machines to feed. And those guys made their money by how many packs of cigarettes they could do.
Okay. So it wasn't like a daily salary. You get paid $1 a day or anything like that?
I got paid a salary.
Okay.
But they got paid on commission.
Okay.
So they were always, I didn't take the job. It was a very physical job. So it was difficult for me to keep all of the machines full at the same time. So they were always yelling.
Okay, so 2 paychecks you stay, and you tell your dad, I can't do this anymore. This ain't.
No, I didn't tell my dad that.
Oh, really?
No.
How did he find out you weren't working with his company anymore?
I called him from San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, so right after the 2 paychecks, how soon was it? San Antonio, Texas is boot camp. How soon after the 2 paychecks did you go and enlist into the Air Force?
Same day.
Okay. So why didn't you tell Granddaddy you were going into the service?
It was to get me in RJ Reynolds was a process.
Okay.
My dad believed in hard work. Mm-hmm. I felt it was somewhat of a disappointment that I didn't have the ambition to make a career in RJ Reynolds. For me, I always knew that there was something better than the cigarette factory. Okay. I just didn't know what it was.
Okay.
My opportunity, I was a very smart kid. Mm-hmm. I thought my opportunity would have been in education. Okay. So I used the Air Force as an alternative. I had a brother-in-law that was in the Air Force.
Dubois. Uncle Dubois?
Yes.
Okay.
That explained to me, given the circumstances, that would be a viable option for me and my family.
Okay. And so you go down to San Antonio, and you join the Air Force and go down to San Antonio, and there was a period of time, and I guess this is still probably true today, that you have to get enough rank before you can start traveling with your family?
Correct.
Okay, so for a while you were going to places without me and Mom. So what were some of your tours of duty before we got to tag along?
I went to Grand Forks, North Dakota without my family.
What did you do there while you were there?
I was an administrative assistant.
Okay, and after that?
Then I went to Thailand without my family.
Okay.
Where they changed me into a security policeman.
Okay.
I only stayed there a year. I was only separated from you and your mom for maybe 2 years.
Okay.
A year at Grand Forks, North Dakota, a year in Thailand. So I come back from Thailand and we all go to a city called Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Fayetteville, North Carolina. Okay. I remember snippets of that. So then after that, we went to Florida, right?
We went to Florida then.
And we were down there for about how long?
I think we were in Florida for maybe 2 or 3 years.
Okay. And then after that, I seem to recall some fuzzy conversation about, do we go to Hawaii or do we go to Okinawa? And you guys were tossed around what would be the better tour of duty, or am I remembering that correctly?
No, we didn't have a choice.
Oh, you
didn't have a choice.
Okay.
I could have went to Okinawa for a year and a half without you guys.
Okay.
But it was important for us to stay together as a family, so I took a tour for 3 years in order to take my family with me.
Okay. Okay. And thank you for that, because those are some wonderful years that I remember. After Japan, after Okinawa, the Rock, as military personnel like to call it, we went on to Holland, right?
The Netherlands, yes.
Okay. So reflecting back on all of this time, leaving Winston-Salem at a young age, how do you think it changed the course of your life?
It showed me that people are people, because I grew up in a very segregated environment. It broadened my horizons to other things that were happening in the world. I mean, different cultures. I mean, the Japanese, the Dutch people. So it just broadened my horizon. It gave me a better perspective on the world.
Okay. Okay. Do you ever think about going back home?
Do I think about going back home? I wouldn't rule it out at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I would not necessarily rule it out at this point. Would I go back to Winston-Salem? Probably not.
Okay. Okay.
But would I go back to North Carolina? I wouldn't rule it out, no.
Okay. So let's talk about me and you for a minute. Being my dad, fatherhood. How do you feel that has changed you, or what lessons has fatherhood taught you?
I give you a lot of credit for my fatherhood growth, because we sort of grew up together, me and you. I wish I had, as I reflect back, I think I could have been a little bit softer on you.
You know, and I tell this to people all the time. You know, people grow and people evolve. And I say, my dad, I remember being younger. My dad was not a, hug, I love you or whatever. It was more so in his actions. You know, you have to see my father's love in his actions. But now, you know, there's the love and the hugs or whatever. But we all grow and we all evolve. Do you think you would have well, let me say this. Your examples of fatherhood, where do you think that came from? What a father's supposed to be like?
I think I got my foundation from my grandmother.
Okay.
To be very honest with you.
Okay.
She taught me responsibility. She taught me to have some type of integrity. She gave me a certain, like I said, I've been working all my life. She gave me a certain work ethic about it. And she gave me the sense of family.
Okay.
Um, I may have been 18 when I had you, not fully understanding the job I was taking on, but I understood it was a job I wanted, and it was a job that I embraced. And because of her, now, not discount my dad. My dad gave me the thing about that old Southern cliche, you got to be a good provider.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that taking what my grandmother and him taught me, it helped me grow into a father with you, if that makes any sense to you.
Gotcha.
Now, true, I probably wasn't the huggy, feely person with you, but I tried to always be there for you. That's why we did what we did in the military as a family.
And I mean, I can't, they say that women end up picking men that have similar traits as their father. And I have noticed in my, I will be, how old will I be on July 8th? I'll
47.
be 47. Yeah, I'll be 47 on July 8th.
If you want to put it out there.
I'll be 47. And, I've noticed, I reflect back, and I say, my dad, he always was there. He was always present. He was always involved. He was always a provider. And you look for these types of qualities in a man. I will say I have noticed there's one trait that my dad has that I pick men that are totally the opposite. I tend to pick guys that are handy with screwdrivers and hammers or whatever, and that is not my dad's trait at all. But I will say when I'm out there on my own, looking for guys, these are kind of qualities that I look for. So I can't express to you enough how much I appreciate and love you for, to be so young. And it just really boggles my mind sometimes when I sit and think about it, to be 18 and to have that vision as a man to say, I've got to protect, provide, and care for this person. And it's not always with hugs and loves or whatever, but I knew, and I tell everybody I knew I was a loved person. I knew I was a loved child. I knew my parents had me front, back, and center. So, I mean, I can't, let me go on before I start crying. Anyways, Dad, love you. So let's go back to your 65-year-old you. If you could go back and talk to your 18-year-old you, what kind of things would you say?
I would like to see you love yourself first. I would like to see you realize how special you are. Anybody can make a baby, but it takes a man to raise a baby. Make sure you choose your friends wisely. There's a cliche. Some people come into your life for a season. Other people come into your life for a reason. Everybody you meet can't be your friend. Trust in yourself and believe in yourself. You don't need to seek love in all of the wrong places. Just love yourself, young man. Be dedicated to yourself. Have a strong belief in yourself. Understand how special you are. There's going to be some bumps in the road. We all going to fall down. But the character comes in. Can you pick yourself and go ahead? And that's probably what I would say to little Stevan.
Okay. Little knucklehead Stevan. Listen to you talk. I'm wondering, and I say this again, you were 18 when I came into this world in 1969. When you look around you today and you look at these young kids, do you think that they have the same resources, drive, determination to raise a child at 18 as you did? Were they Are they of the same cut of the same cloth?
No,
No.
no. Um, I find the younger generation to be into instant gratification. You could be here today and gone tomorrow. I mean, marriages come and go. I'm not saying that. Even my generation, marriages come and go. But I see no commitment. It's easy to love somebody when the going is good. Kids, when the party is on, they in there. But when the music stops, they want to leave. Um, I talk to some young boys every now and then in my job, and I get the sense from them they define their manhood by how many babies they can make, but not how many babies they could take care of.
That's my daddy. That's my daddy. Yeah. And I don't mean to cut you off. How many they can take care of? Yeah.
Pardon me?
I'm just listening to you talk, Dad. And I say things now at going to be 47, and you like, where does that come from? Why do I feel that way? And listening to you talk, I say, that's why I feel that way. That's what I was raised to believe. That's what I was taught to believe. Especially when it comes to the younger generation, you bring them into babies, you bring them into this world to take care of them, not just because I can, and I appreciate it. So you were saying you've been married for many, many years now. You're 65, and I'd say almost 3/4 of your life you've been married. I mean, marriage. I mean, it's good, it's bad, and like you said, with the younger generation, we're quick to run or whatever. So, what do you tell the little young kids or young boys? If you want to get married, this is what you're going to have to do.
Well, if you can get married nowadays, I hope that you would make sure that that person is your best friend. Start with that. Understand that pretty little girl or that handsome young man you marry is not going to be that pretty little girl or handsome young man for the rest of your life. Understand, and I said it early in the conversation, it's easy to love when everything is going good. But will you have my back when things are not going good? Can you stay with me when we're eating spam every day rather than steaks every day? So make her your best friend. You have a sense of commitment. Go back to my dad. Be the best provider you could be for her. And you got to realize that's a gem that you got to protect. So that would be my advice to young kids getting married nowadays.
So I've taken up enough of your time today. I'm about to wrap it up, Dad. But you mentioned all throughout this conversation, that you've been raised to work, and that's part of the fatherhood and marriage thing. You got to provide. It is getting to be time where you're going to retire. What you going to do with yourself when you don't have to work?
I have grandkids. Fatherhood is a never-ending job. I will always be a father. So when I retire, I will keep doing what I'm doing now.
Okay.
I have grandkids that hopefully will require my attention. So, and I'll probably get into playing golf.
Golf. Okay. Oh yeah.
I have a question for you, Pumpkin.
What you got, Dad?
What makes you think a man would be a good father and husband? You gave me some basics.
I mean, I think first of all, for
What's the female perspective on this?
I mean, I think that for a man, and this is coming from a woman, and I find difficulty answering this because I'm not a man. So, but I think for
Female
for
perspective.
female perspective, to make a good father, to make a good man, I just think you have to be in this state of I'm gonna try, I'm gonna give it my best. Yes, I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm gonna call myself on my mistakes, and I'm gonna live in this state of constantly trying to improve. Like I might have screwed the whole thing up yesterday. I wasn't a good dad yesterday. I wasn't a good husband yesterday. I wasn't a good friend yesterday. But today I'm gonna, I've analyzed it, and I'm gonna try to make the corrections and the adjustments tomorrow. Uh, because I think sometimes men don't always get the best examples. You might not have a strong male in your life to show you what it's like to be a man. So you're kind of out there winging it. You're out there floundering. You gotta figure it out. And but I think if you just live in this state of I'm going to work on it, and I'm not going to get it right, and I'm allow myself not to get it right. I mean, because Dad, um, just thinking back on your own personal story, I mean, did you get it right every day?
No,
Yeah, but
I got it wrong most days.
but you kept trying.
But that you didn't understand my question. Okay, I got it wrong most days. You're my wife. What's your position?
You if you get it wrong, can we get up tomorrow and try to fix it and move on? I mean, we're not. I can't expect a man. I can't expect myself to get it right every day. But can I wake up tomorrow, try to put the pieces back together, try to fix this, make improvements, and to have a better life, to have a better relationship? I mean, because even me and you, Dad, as daughter and dad, we have not always had good days. There was days back when I was that teenager, and I was like, I can't stand my dad. He just gets on my nerves. And you were looking at me like, I can't stand her. She just get on my nerves. But we grew, we evolved, and we're here today. And you could not have told me that me and my dad would have the relationship that we have today back when I was 17 or 18. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that it's a process of saying to yourself, I didn't get it right today. I didn't get it right today, but I'm gonna try to get it right tomorrow. And I just think if you live in that space, that it might not be perfect, but it's going to get better. Does that answer your question?
And as a woman, you can support a man that does not get it right every day.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh, I mean,
Okay.
you cannot. I think that's unrealistic expectations, and I don't know if that is the beauty of growing up. Like I said, I grew up with you guys. You were 18 when you had me, so we were children growing up together. So maybe that's the beauty of the lesson that I was taught at this young age, that hey, adults are not going to get it right, and I have to allow myself and my man that I get involved with, because I was shown that we're not going to get it right every day. But you know what? The two of us, we're gonna stick in this, and we're gonna keep on trying, because I grew up watching you and mom fight some battles, and hey, we are screwing this up, but we're gonna try to get out of this. We're gonna try to pick up and get out of this. And I just think that's where you gotta stay at, the space you gotta live in.
You answered my question, and that was the answer I was looking for.
Okay, so anything you want to say to my 200 followers that follow me around before I go?
You're blessed to know her. She's a really, really good person with a very, very big heart.
Oh, thank you, Dad. And I thank you so much, Dad. I know this is way, way out your comfort zone, way, way out your comfort zone.
Surprisingly, it was easier than I thought.
You had me to.
But we're not doing it again, okay?
I love you. This is the best going to be 47-year-old birthday present my dad could ever give me. I appreciate you so much. I love you so much. I just I think about you, and I'm doing it now. I think about you sometimes, and I love you, Dad.
I love you too. I love you too.
I love you too.